There are 168 hours in a week. We go to church for 1 hour. What about the other 167?
Cue this podcast. We're here to bring the church to you the rest of the week. I'm David Vogel, the Director of Communication here at Central Community Church.
I'm Cori Broddle, the Director of Community. We've been to the 1 hour in church. Now welcome to the other 167.
Well, this is a little bit of a different podcast because it's just you.
We're missing somebody here.
Cori and me. Yeah, there's nobody in the middle that we can rely on to talk for the whole 15 minutes.
No.
So it's up to us. But we were talking, and it's been almost exactly a year since the COVID shutdowns went into effect. I remember the Sunday prior, we had that huge baptism
March
night.
8th.
March 8th, yes.
Huge baptism night.
We baptized like 122 people, I think.
121.
Okay.
Unless somebody snuck in there and I didn't see it.
Okay, so over 120 people we
let's say
baptized.
that.
And then we had kind of the work week, and then that Friday, which I believe was March 12th, which is our day off.
Yeah.
Because we work Sundays. I remember I was at home working on something else, and I got the news that they basically said we're shutting everything down.
Yeah.
And I remember I got in my car and I drove to the church so fast because I knew we were going to have to put out stuff really
Communications
quick.
guy.
Yeah, I know. Communications was very important for about 5 minutes there. And so, it's been a crazy year since. And here we are on the other side of that year. And things are looking a little different. We probably feel like we know more now.
Yeah.
We've kind of finally got our feet under us. But it's been a good year despite everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm really glad that you first started with the baptism night, because we saw God working in such a mighty way just days before the whole city shut down.
Yep.
And I just feel like God has moved in mighty ways continually. And maybe we haven't seen every little piece.
Right.
But I'm excited to highlight some of the ways that God has moved in this last year. And I was listening to a conference by John Maxwell, and one of the things he said to a room full of leaders on Zoom, I say room
the
full
virtual room,
loosely, was don't let 2020 be a wasted year.
Yeah.
And so powerful. So there's so many things that we learned here at the church and we've grown from. And I think we're going to see fruit from it for years to come. And one of the things, and I think I'm really passionate about it because it became my job.
Yes, it did. So one of the things that came out of 2020 is you got a new job.
I got a new job, and that was the online ministry. And I think most churches had to switch roles around.
Yep.
I think most businesses maybe had to switch roles around.
Yes, everything had to go online if you were going to do anything, really.
Yeah, so just being able to share some of the things that have happened digitally, all of everything went online. And then it continues now, even if we're in person, we're still streaming online. And you know what? We have been able to reach more people for Christ. And it has been awesome. We've had somebody accept Christ through Zoom.
That was such a cool story.
So cool. Like, she was even very hesitant, is this something we can do virtually?
The Bible doesn't say anything about Zoom.
Yeah, sure. We can do it virtually. Yeah. But it's just really cool that we've been able to reach more people, and our numbers aren't really going down, even though our numbers are going up in person.
Yeah, the online view count is, it's staying the same, if not growing, while the numbers in the sanctuary.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
And so that's more people tuning in. And I'm seeing, I'm online. Not only am I in the sanctuary on a Sunday, I'm also online.
A little behind the scenes, Cori is up in the very top row of the balcony in the dark with her laptop, typing away to all the people who are watching online.
Laptop, phone.
Yes.
Pastor Bob up there. So fun, though. Come say hi to me. I love it. But I'm seeing new names come up all the time, and several of them have maybe been watching a lot. They haven't been in person, but watching, but they're just now being able to tell us that they're there. Like, they're finding confidence and okay, this is my church now.
Right.
I'm going to make myself known and start building connection. And I'm sure that is so far off base that we were going to talk about.
No, this is great.
I'm so fired up about the online community.
Part of doing church is the fellowship that you get with the people. And it's been so fun to watch in the last 12 months, the fellowship that has grown just in the comments section. I mean, to start off with,
Yeah.
we had a goal of like, I don't know, like if we had this
Like
many
100. We wanted 100 comments.
That was our
Yes.
goal. And we were going to get coffee or something.
Yes.
And half of those comments were us, but we were like,
Right.
we're trying
We
to
were
respond to
still
every
doing
single
it.
person. But now, I mean, how many hundreds of comments?
This last Sunday, we were so close to 400.
Oh my
so
goodness.
close that I was just going to go in there and
do the
type a
last
few,
few.
but I didn't. So I'm just going to say we were close to 400. But that's 400 people fellowshipping,
Yep.
getting to know each other, asking how their week went, and praying for each other.
Yeah, and people they're, even without you prompting for these things, people are saying, this happened this week, I need prayer.
Yeah. Yeah. So just I think the online community that we have had to build because of the shutdown has really, I think, enhanced how we do church.
Yeah. And okay, so that was a really good segue that I know you did not do on purpose, but that
good.
segues really nicely into Central's online community, which is our private Facebook group that we started.
Yeah, and this was maybe started, 6 months ago? And we were just all kind of sitting around thinking, how can we still build community that's not within the four walls of the church?
This church has, it's a weird
Okay,
shape. So there's
lots
more
of
than four walls, but
yes, but we weren't
they're like
gathering.
16 and a half walls we have.
We weren't gathering for women's Bible studies or
Wednesday night
men's
meals.
ministry, Wednesday night meals. We weren't gathering anymore, but we still wanted to be able to fellowship and hear those prayer requests,
Yep.
get to know each other a little bit more. Like we can be online and still feel like we're having coffee with each other. And so we started this online community. It is a private group on Facebook where just our church members become a part of it. Now,
Right.
some have invited their friends, so it can be kind of an outreach to bring your friends in if they get to know us and how cool we are.
We are
right?
so cool.
They might come on a Sunday then and join us for church. But in this online community, there has been so many prayer requests that have been posted, and sometimes like 3 a.m, and I miss them. I get up at 6 and I try to see what I need to accept to come into the community. But they've been heavy requests.
Yeah.
Where people need immediate prayer. And
Yep.
there's not many places you can go, share a prayer request, and 100 people will immediately pray for you. And that online community does
Yep.
that.
Yep. It's so fun to see the comments under those posts. Like, I'm praying. It just goes on and on. It's so cool.
And then the follow-up too, like you'll see a week or two later, somebody pop on and say, hey, I've been praying for your cousin or your niece.
That's so cool.
How's things going? And then that conversation and that relationship just continues building.
Yep.
So love the online
That's
community.
really cool.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Anything for you. Anything to boost the online community. So that another cool thing that has happened over this last year is the generosity of this church has been incredible.
Yes.
I think everybody was worried when this started. Nobody's coming into the building on Sunday mornings. What's going to happen to our giving? Are we going to have to shut down some of our programming?
Yeah.
Are we going to lose staff? That didn't happen.
No, just
I got goosebumps just talking about it. That was cool.
I know the faithfulness of this church.
Yeah.
I mean, it was overwhelming for us as staff to just see this is their home church. This
Yep.
is their church, and be able to support the church, even if they were hurting financially, they were still supporting their local church. And that allowed us as a church to give more and help impact a community that was really, really hurting in 2020.
Yeah. And it's still hurting.
It's still hurting. Yeah.
So we'll circle back to that because
Okay.
I'm getting ahead of myself. One of my favorite memories of 2020 was our Thanksgiving food drive, the food distribution, because again, we were worried, are we going to be able to find enough food?
Yeah.
Because for one thing, the grocery stores didn't know if they had enough in stock,
Right.
even if we have the money for it to get the food in to give out to the community. But that didn't end up being the case.
Loads of food kept piling in, and if people couldn't bring food in, money came piling in.
Like by the thousands. It was
by
incredible.
the thousands. And so not only were we able to provide that 2,500 turkeys and meals.
Yep. And by the way, Cargill donated the turkeys.
Yes.
So thank you, Cargill.
Yes, Cargill, yes. And that 2,500 went pretty fast. Like
Oh, yeah.
you could just see the need in the community
Yep.
when we had carfuls coming through. Yeah. But now we're able to reach more people and give more because of the generosity
Right, we
from
had
the
so
Thanksgiving
much money
drive.
come in that we couldn't spend it on the food. We had enough food, and so we've got kind of this little little savings account of generosity money that we've gotten to use in different ways. It's been really fun to watch.
And you've been able to share some of those in the Connect, right?
Yes, the Connect, and more stories are coming.
More stories
it's
are
really
going to
cool.
keep coming, yes.
Yep.
And so you talked about shortage of food, and we've talked about Thanksgiving drive. So one of the things that Pastor Bob did come up with is the fourth Sunday canned food drive.
Which is such a catchy title. I love it. The fourth Sunday non-perishable food donations. It just rolls off the tongue.
So easy to say.
But I tease, but go on.
Yes. But that was because the hurting community
Yes.
and the places that normally have food to support the community was very low stocked. And
Right.
so this is a way that we can help those organizations stock their shelves again so they can do their ministry.
Yeah. So we started this in January.
Yep, this year. Yep.
And January of this year, that first Sunday, we had, I think it was 1,685 pounds worth of non-perishable food brought in. And we're recording this before we got the final total from February, but
It was a lot.
It was full. There were a lot of food.
It was a lot. And we're going to continue doing this all year. So I can't wait to see how much we impact and give for 2021. And would we have done this if it wasn't for 2020?
Exactly.
So I think God just moves, and sometimes we don't know it until later on. And I think we're just going to keep seeing 2021, God using what happened in 2020. So exciting things coming. But speaking of excitement,
So
you like this?
I do like this. The online community the online stuff, the online live services and the community and all that we've built has been so cool, but it is also simultaneously running on a parallel track. So exciting to see people starting to come back into this building.
Yes.
I know when we kind of reopened the doors in late June, I think it was.
June 28th.
Wow, you're good.
Yep.
I don't know. Then it was people came back, but you could tell the room was still pretty empty.
Well, and you kind of have a sense of how do I interact with somebody, and so you're kind of reserved.
Right.
But not
like you
only
and I are talking to each other between two panels of plexiglass.
we're learning how to do it though, right? But now the excitement, not only are the numbers growing in person, but the excitement is building.
So I think it was the third Sunday of February was when our numbers, like we had the most people in the building since March of 2020. I mean, it was the buzz in the building and in the room was so cool.
What I remember, so we gave away free cinnamon rolls. I remember that.
Right.
And I was going to the atrium. I think when I got there, we might have been out of them. But I just remember going to the atrium and seeing it full of people.
Which we haven't seen in months.
And people that I love and I haven't seen for a while because of the shutdown.
Yeah.
And so I got to catch up with people, give little elbow taps to people.
Yes, that's
Maybe
how you
we're
do
not hugging yet. But it was just fun to be in the middle of that room and it was kind of hard to even focus on one conversation because there was so much going on.
Yep. Yeah, so it's exciting as it appears the COVID numbers are starting to drop locally. And so I think with that and other things going on, people are feeling more comfortable. And so I would just encourage anybody who's watching or listening, if you're feeling that nudge from God, if you feel like maybe you feel like it's the right time for you to start coming back, we would love to have you because the community, as great as it is online, and it's incredible.
Yes.
But just to be, when you're able to be in the building with other believers, worshiping and singing and smiling and air high-fiving across the room.
Air high-fiving. Little fist bumps, as Pastor George will say.
Yeah. Yes. It feels good. It feels like you're with other believers in a family.
Yeah, and I agree. And because we want you to come back, but we want you to feel safe coming back too. So we still clean in between each service.
We've got the Ghostbuster machines fogging the building.
And we're still cleaning down the doorknobs that are touched, bathrooms. So still wiping everything down. Kids ministry still working really hard
I know,
on
Central,
cleaning.
The preschool has said they've had less illness of any kind this year because of all the cleaning that we've done in there, that's pretty cool.
That is cool. So still cleaning, just taking all those precautions.
Yep, every other pew is still marked off so we can space people out.
Yeah, so I hope that helps those that have been thinking about coming back, maybe feel a little bit more comfortable that we're trying to do everything that we can do to keep everybody safe here.
Yep. So if you want to know more, first of all, check out our online community on Facebook. It's called Central's Online Community.
Yes.
Just search that. Ask to join. You have to answer a couple questions.
Easy questions.
Just to make sure that you're not a robot.
Yes.
And we don't want robots in the community group, I guess.
No. So join the Central's Online Community. But also, if you're not part of our church and you want to know more, visit our website, centralcommunity.church.
Yep.
So, and then if you guys are part of our church, we'll see them Sunday, right?
Yep, Sunday in the building or online.
Either 9 a.m. or 11. So we will see you guys on Sunday. Thanks for listening to 167. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you're listening from.
And to keep up with everything at Central Community Church, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to watch us record this podcast live, find us on YouTube.
We think the 167 hours between church services are so important, and we hope you'll share this episode with your friends. Join us next week.